This is now my second time officially trying to go live, and I mean, I think I had a little bit of an issue going live there for a second. But hey, I hope you guys are enjoying your Thursday. I hope you guys are enjoying your Friday, your Saturday. You know, you know what day it is. It's Saturday. It's Wrestling Week in Review, number 103. So, hey, I hope you guys enjoy what I'm going to give you. Oh, I like. Yep. I guess I'm guessing we have someone watching and we have a like. Thank you for that. But hey, it's what it is. Now, obviously, hey Austin, if you want to hit that like button, feel free to do so. If any of you guys are coming into my live stream and you want to hit that like button, feel free to do so. It's never required, but I do appreciate it. Thanks, Austin. Now, obviously, I didn't watch NXT. I didn't watch Crown Jewel. Obviously, Austin, Matt went live on his channel. You can rewatch the live stream if you want, but I was not able to watch Crown Jewel live. Actually, interestingly enough, I woke up at like 9 o'clock this morning, and then I was like, oh shit. Matt went live at 8 because Crown Jewel was starting at 8, and I missed the first hour of the live stream and the pay per view essentially. But Bronson Reed beat Roman Reigns, which I almost knew was going to happen. Rhea Ripley, we had Stephanie McCur and Tiffany Stratton fight for the Women's Crown Jewel Championship, and Stephanie McCur won. We had AJ Styles versus John Cena, which was amazing from what I heard, and from what I also heard, they did so many finishing moves that were sort of, I guess, touching tributes to various wrestlers that they had fought over the years and were not going to fight in the near future. John Cena did a lot of moves from other wrestling. I'm surprised he didn't attempt an Olympic slam from which is Kurt Angle's move. I'm surprised he didn't even attempt that, but he hit a tombstone pile driver. He had the accolade in of Rusev. He had a bunch of. I think he had one more submission move that was a. But hey, yeah, I know he did the Sister Abigail. Apparently, now he did the RKO. He attempted a few other moves, which was the 619 and the Randy Orton punt and the Seth Rollins pedigree, but those didn't get off the ground because all of those moves were countered. But also, AJ Styles did a few moves of his own that were not his, but were tributes of sorts. Samoa Joe's Coquina Clutch. Frankie Kazarian, apparently, he did a move from Frankie Kazarian's Fate to Black or whatever. He did Angel's Wings which is Christopher Daniels' move. And for those who don't know, he's a former TNA Super X Division champion, if I'm not mistaken, former Ring of Honor World Champion, and current AEW. He's currently in AEW. Can't remember if there was any other moves that he did, but that's just a. Also, we had Rhea Ripley and Io Sky versus the Kabuki Warriors. Rio won, and I'm not talking about the AEW superstar Riho. I'm talking about Rhea Ripley, and Io Sky. And then we got Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes for the Crown Jewel Championship. I knew Seth was going to win. I knew Seth needed to win because he had already lost 3 different times to Cody. No need for him to win a 4th time. And yes, I know it's Cody Rhodes, and I know WWE is always selective when it comes to Cody Rhodes being beat in any match. But on this night, he needed to lose, and he did. That was my quick recap of Crown Jewel. I'd give it an 8.5 out of 10. It was an improvement over WrestlePalooza. flat. It was a improvement over WrestlePalooza dramatically. WWE either took that C rating that ESPN gave them as a wake up call or whatever, but it was a definite improvement. Now on to the shows. For this week, we started out with Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw, it started out with Roman Reigns. Reigns, he was out there. He wanted some payback on the Bronze for what they did to him following his match with Bronson Reed at Clash in Paris, taking him out, having him leave on a stretcher and being out for about a month, for just over a month. And that's exactly what we got. We got the street fight made official after Bronson Reed came out with Paul Heyman and Braun Breaker. They obviously went and tried to launch in it. Bronson Reed tried to attack Roman Reigns after Roman Reigns made a unflattering comment about Bronson Reed. Paul Heyman couldn't even do anything to stop him. He was so quick to get into the ring, but Roman Reigns obviously got the better of Bronson Reed in this moment. Yeah, Max. I'm surprised you're even here. You're still here. Congratulations on winning though. I guess I'll have to wait until next PLE to beat you. But then again, at some point, I think Rory or whoever holds the Money in the Bank briefcase at this point is probably going to give it to you. So that way, even if you lose at the next WWE PLE, you'll still be able to cash in anyways, just so you can't let somebody else have some fun. Let's say, and I'm sure you'll yeah, let's just move on. I'm rambling on for no reason. Let's move on. After this, we got a backstage segment with Kairi Sane and Asuka. Asuka's talking with Adam Pearce. Pearce and Asuka was able to get a match made official between Kairi Sane and Io Sky for tonight. On this night, so I'm like, okay, we're getting Asuka versus Kairi Sane tonight. Friday night. That could be a good match. Yeah, you're totally right. Shut up, Mox. Get out of here. Kairi was basically begging and pleading for Asuka not to put her in this match. She doesn't want to face Kairi. She doesn't want to hurt Kairi, but apparently then Asuka proceeded to slap her. So, yeah. I love heel Asuka. This Asuka is very good. Is a very good Asuka. And one of the best versions of Asuka I think we've seen in basically forever. Then we got Lyra Valkyria backstage. She is set to go one-on-one with Roxanne Perez this week. And she allowed Bayley to be there at ringside for her match to offset any interference by Raquel Rodriguez, I'm guessing. Then we got the first match of the night, and it's Becky Lynch versus Maxine Dupri. And I'm not going to lie, I thought this match was going to be a bit of a squash. I'm not gonna lie, I thought this match was gonna be a squash. Because you've got Maxine Dupri in there who's green as grass and isn't very good. And then Becky Lynch, who's very good and is one of the best in the women's division. This was a non-title match, no title on the line, but this match went about 14 minutes. And let me tell you, this was arguably I've now seen this match in full, and this is by far the best Maxine Dupri match she's ever had. A lot of people are saying it, have said it. It's not just me saying it, other people have said it. Sports Illustrated is saying it. Yeah. I'm mocking Becky Lynch because she's constantly saying that it's not just me saying that I'm the best women's wrestler of all time. No, it wasn't Vince. No, it wasn't Matt. Mox. It wasn't a terrible match. You have your opinion, I have my opinion. My opinion is mostly right because most of what your opinions are based on is just based on old school thinking. Old school thinking, basically. So yeah, this was a very good match. This was a very good match, not a terrible match, as Mox tried to say, but still. Doesn't matter what he thinks anyways. This is my live stream. And Maxine was able to actually get the win by via count out, because at one point in the match, Becky Lynch had decided to talk smack to the referee, which honestly, you don't do that. You don't really do that unless you're trying to get yourself into more trouble. But she did that. But she did it, and at one point near the end of the match, she had thrown Maxine into the table, into the announce table, into the side of the announce table twice. Got up on the announce table and then just started berating the crowd and showboating. This led to Maxine getting into the ring, and then by the time the referee had gotten to 7, she decided to count just a little bit faster. When she got to 8, 9, 10, Becky Lynch gets counted out. She had no idea that the referee was counting to 10, and she got counted out. Which, I actually don't mind this match finish. It keeps Becky Lynch from taking a pinfall loss, and it keeps Maxine gets a win. So hey, it is what it is. But it was a good match. Not a bad match, but it was a good match. So but hey, it is what it is. We got Seth Rollins backstage with Paul Heyman. He wants to beat Cody Rhodes at Crown Jewel. He wants to beat Cody Rhodes at Crown Jewel. He has to beat Cody Rhodes at Crown Jewel, but he's not exactly sure if he can do that. But hey, he knows he can do it, but Cody Rhodes is just in his head. He asks Paul Heyman to be brutally honest with him. He does ask Paul Heyman to be brutally honest with him. What happens if I lose? What if I lose? What if I lose to Cody Rhodes at Crown Jewel? Well, Paul Heyman tells Cody Rhodes that if he does lose, then he has to reevaluate why he chose Seth Rollins over Roman Reigns. Now, some people were immediately quick to say, "Oh, that's Paul Heyman telling Seth Rollins, if you don't beat Cody, I'm out." No, I don't think that was what he meant by that at all. I think what he meant that was as motivation, because obviously Seth needs a little bit of motivating heading into his match against Cody Rhodes, and Paul Heyman knows that Seth Rollins hates Roman Reigns with a bloody passion. So he knows what word to use to get Seth Rollins psyched up for his PLE match. And yeah, it worked. It worked, and Seth Rollins was able to win the match at Crown Jewel. So good for him. We got Judgment Day backstage with AJ Styles. This would lead to a 6-man tag team match being made official for later on in the show. And yeah. Then we got a video package for Stephanie McCurr. She was going to challenge Tiffany Stratton at Crown Jewel for the Women's Crown Jewel Championship. It was pretty basic, and I liked it. She won. Good for her. We got Io Sky. Then we got Io Sky versus Kairi Sane. Went about 10 minutes. Good match, but there was a spot where Kairi Sane did an Alabama slam to the Io Sky on the edge of the ring apron, and it did not look good. And Io definitely didn't look like she took the move very well. But hey, Kairi was able to get the win via an assist from Asuka, so congrats to her. Obviously, we got 2 backstage segments with Roman Reigns, Jimmy, and Jay. This was the first one. He was with the Usos, and Roman Reigns actually asked Jay who is going out at the top of the hour, meaning the 9 o'clock hour. And Jay said CM Punk's gonna be on the show, and that's when his time is. Roman's like, "That's not you? You're not the one? You're not the one that's opening the 9 o'clock hour as hour?" Jay definitely looked pissed about that. Then, as Jay was leaving, Roman whispered to Jimmy, "I see and I hear everything. What's wrong with your brother taking advice from me?" Well, in Jimmy's eyes, what's wrong is that he doesn't want Jay to become another version of Roman Reigns. We already had this 2 years ago. 2 years ago when Jay was trying to win the Universal or Undisputed Championship from Roman Reigns. The reason Jimmy gave as to why he cost Jay the match back then was because he didn't want Jay to become a second Roman Reigns. He didn't want Jay to become a Roman Reigns clone. He didn't want to become what Roman Reigns had become, which was a power-hungry madman of sorts. So it's power-hungry leader who was only, and that was the reason he gave back then. That was 2 years ago, and now they're bringing this in form because now Jey Uso is starting to show Roman Reigns' tendencies in his character, and it's making for very good television because Jey is acting more and more aggressive, and Jimmy's like, I don't know if I like this. He's starting to act like Roman Reigns, but he's not Roman Reigns. He's not Roman Reigns. Well, what's the problem with Jey wanting to act a little bit more like his cousin? Because he doesn't want Jey to become his cousin. We got Lyra Valkyria versus Roxanne Perez. Lasted about 9 minutes. Decent match, nothing special, but Roxanne Perez actually sort of snaps a losing streak of sorts. She's been losing as of late, and if I'm not mistaken, she won this match. And hey, that's great for her. She deserved to at least get a win against Lyra. So, ooh, good for her. After this, we got AJ Styles backstage with Dragon Lee. They were approaching Penta about getting a match, about potentially Penta joining their team, joining them to team up against the Judgment Day tonight. Penta is going to face Dirty Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship on this upcoming Monday Night Raw, which will be in Australia, and it will be at 8 a.m. I'm not watching that. I can't watch it anyways, but I wouldn't be able to watch it anyways. Even if I could, I wouldn't be able to because I don't get up until 9. So I don't get up until 9 a.m. in the morning. Both on the weekends and on the weekday. Well, on Sundays I get up at 8. At 8 because of church. And it's usually by like 9:15. We go to church by like 9:15. So yeah. Other than that, on the other days, I usually get up at 9. Max, get out of here. Get out of here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, get out of here, Max. You're not welcome. But as they were talking, we got commotion in the distance, which turned out to be Bayley and Lyra attacking Raquel Rodriguez backstage, which then led to Roxanne Perez joining in, which then led to them being separated, all 4 of them being separated, and now they're going to have a tag team match this upcoming Monday night on Raw, live from Australia. Should be a good one. After this, we got CM Punk. We got the top of the hour, 9 o'clock. CM Punk comes out. He wanted to make it clear that heading into Crown Jewel, he was letting Cody Rhodes take care of Seth Rollins. But he made it clear that while he's letting Cody Rhodes get his hands on Seth Rollins now, he's not going to stop going back after the world title post Crown Jewel. This ended to LA Knight coming out, telling CM Punk, I respect you, but the last person who pinned Seth Rollins clean 1, 2, 3 was me. And I know Seth Rollins has never, ever pinned me. And I know that you haven't pinned me either. This then led to Jay coming out. This then led to Jay coming out. And Jay wasn't necessarily happy either, apparently. He was obviously not happy because he was the world heavyweight champion at one point, and he has still not gotten a rematch for the title. Most people, when they lose a title, they almost immediately get a rematch clause, and they enact that rematch clause immediately. And he never got that rematch clause. Ooh, we got 5 likes. Thank you to the people who liked. Thank you to the people who liked this live stream. I really appreciate it, guys. Obviously, this then led to all 3 of them this led to LA Knight and Jey Uso getting into a war of words. Ooh, excuse me. Whatever. After this, we got a video package reliving the history of AJ Styles and John Cena. Obviously, they've had some classic matches over the years. At Money in the Bank 2016, SummerSlam 2016, and Royal Rumble 2017. First 2 matches were not for any titles, but was mainly just for pride. The 2017 Royal Rumble match was for the WWE title that John Cena was able to win. So hey, it was good. It was some good stuff. We got another segment, backstage segment with Roman, Jay, and Jimmy. Jay was not particularly happy with what transpired, and now Jimmy has apparently gotten them a tag team match against LA Knight and CM Punk. He's like, "Are you protecting CM Punk or something? Are you protecting CM Punk or whatever?" Like why don't like you're supposed to have my back? Why aren't you having my back here? Then Jimmy decided to start talking to Roman Reigns, and he basically made it clear, look, I'm not like you, and Jay is nothing like you. Roman then decided to throw it right back in Jimmy's face by saying that when Jay became world champion, Jay started becoming more like Roman and less like Jimmy. I'm like, I don't know what that's supposed to. I mean, I don't know what this is all supposed to lead to, but if this does not lead to Jimmy Uso being brought up to the level that Roman and JR, then what's the point of them making it seem like Jimmy is the odd one out here because he's never been a world champion? Or better yet, he's never been a singles champion at all. He's only a tag team guy. But I'm excited to see where this goes eventually. We got another video package for Cody Rhodes versus Seth. This one focused on them being allies. Well, I guess as Seth would probably have called it, allies of necessity, because Seth Rollins, back in 2014, 2024, last year, he needed somebody to take out Roman Reigns. He needed Roman Reigns to lose the Undisputed Championship. He needed someone to take Roman Reigns out of power. He saw Cody Rhodes as the guy that could do it. He did it. He didn't do it because he wanted to. He did it because he needed somebody to finally take out Roman Reigns and take all that power away. way. Would he have wanted to do it himself? I'm sure he would have wanted to do it himself, but he didn't. He allowed Cody Rhodes to be the guy to end Roman Reigns, but then he obviously started talking about how Cody Rhodes then just, because then after everything Seth Roman Reigns did to you, you simply just let him back in with open arms as if he had done nothing wrong. As if he had done nothing wrong, as if he hadn't held this company, this roster hostage for years by holding a title that he didn't need to hold for as long as he did. Well, that's interesting. But hey, it is what it is. Some great stuff. We then got the six-man tag team match. AJ Styles, Dragon Lee, and Penta versus the Judgment Day of JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio. The baby, which I think was almost essential. Obviously AJ Styles cut a small promo post-match about his match against John Cena, Crown Jewel, and how this match doesn't really need any build because they've already had so many matches and so many classic battles that it's like they don't need to talk about the match, which I guess is an acceptable reason as to why John Cena hasn't been on the shows as of late going into the match, but hey. Then we got the main event tag team match, Jimmy and Jey Uso versus LA Knight and CM Punk. Well, CM Punk and LA Knight win, which now makes it 2 straight wins for LA Knight. I'm wondering if fan backlash over LA Knight's, I think it was ESPN who said something about LA Knight. How they don't think LA Knight's ever going to win another match anytime soon. That WWE doesn't see anything in him or whatnot. But they're now giving him 2 straight wins in as many weeks. That should be something. That's something. But we want more. I think it's pretty clear we want more for LA Knight. But hey. Nice show. I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10 for the story progression, because there was a bunch of stories going into Crown Jewel that were great, that were looking pretty darn good. Now on to NXT. And I was so excited for this show heading into this week. I was so excited for this. We got NXT Invasion. Notice how I said invasion and not what they pivoted to, which is NXT Showdown, because guess what, Israel? Your feelings got hurt. Big deal. Yeah, Israel, your feelings got hurt. Big deal. To me, it was NXT Invasion because that's exactly what it was, an invasion. It was basically the same thing we got in the early 2000s with the Alliance stable, the ECW and WCW invasion of WWE, which led to the quote-unquote invasion pay-per-view name, which is where they got this from, which is where they got the name from. Invasion was from that pay-per-view from 2001. Obviously, we got a bunch of matches with TNA superstars facing NXT superstars. The first match of the night was Dark State, the current, or now I should say former NXT Tag Team Champions, versus the Hardy Boys, the TNA Tag Team Champions. This was a winner-takes-all match, with both sets of titles being on the line for both teams. Went about 11 minutes. Good match. There was at least one botch in the match. So it wasn't perfect, but it was good. And congrats to the Hardy Boys. They were able to win the match. Also, this match had at least the other 2 members of Dark State banned from ringside. So that definitely helped. Helped in helped in the Hardy Boys' favor, so they were able to win. Congrats to them. And hey, they're now double champions. And then as of last night, apparently I saw last night where they wrestled on a House of Glory show, which is an independent wrestling company, I guess, in New York, if I'm not mistaken. And they apparently won some tag team gold there as well. So now, if I'm not mistaken, they're current three-time champions. They're holding three separate tag team titles. Are they getting the great? Are they turning into belt collectors just like Mercedes Moné? Who knows? Who knows? But hey, congrats to them. Obviously, they have a match at Bound for Glory, which will be tomorrow. At Bound for Glory for the TNA World Tag Team titles against 3D, against the Dudley Boys, in a match that is coined one final table. It will be a tables match, which is almost a fitting end to a rivalry that dates back to the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s. So after this, we got Blake Monroe, and so we got Soruka and Zarya backstage with various other women's talents. We got Mariah May, apparent Blake Monroe. We got, we got Blake Monroe came in and like a bunch of other people have been trying to do as of late. She sort of started to try to sort of sow seeds of dissent into their friendship between Soruka and Zarya. And yes, they're two completely different superstars, but they're friends, and I don't think there's anything that's going to get them to really break up, so to speak. I mean, I don't know. 6 likes. 6 likes, guys. I appreciate it. Can we make it to 10 before the live stream ends? I don't know if we can, but I would love to see it. Oh, hi, Nate. Hi, Nate. Hello. Glad you're here. I'm happy that you're here. After this, we got the Women's Survivor Series style elimination tag team match. Team NXT, which consisted of Jacy Jayne, the current NXT Women's Champion and the team captain, versus Jada Parker, Soruka, and Lola Vice versus Kalani Jordan, the current TNA Knockouts champion. The Inspiration, Cassie Lee, Jessica McKay, also known as Billie Kay, and Peyton Royce, the Iconics of NXT, of WWE, and the current TNA Knockouts tag team titles, although they could lose those titles against the Elegance brand tomorrow on Bound for Glory. I won't be watching it. Maybe if they have it, maybe if they show it, because I know recently they've been allowing people to view some of their shows for free on YouTube. Like they've been live streaming a few of their TNA episodes, TNA regular Thursday shows on YouTube for free, but still, I don't know. I may or may not be able to watch it. That's all I'm going to say. But we also got Mara Sade on the TNA women's team, also formerly known as Jakara Jackson in NXT. So basically, the women's TNA team were made up of either a current NXT superstar or former WWE talent. Interesting how the majority of these TNA guys we were getting on tonight's show were former WWE talents at one point or another. This match went about 22 minutes. There was a point in the match where Mara Sade went for a moonsault onto Jada Parker, completely missed Jada. I mean, it definitely looked bad. It definitely looked like a bad botch. So, yeah. This match went about 22 minutes, which was surprising. I didn't know they'd give the match that long of time, but hey, congrats to the NXT women for winning the match. Low device, Sol Ruka hit the Soul Snatcher, but JC Jane tagged herself in and let herself get the pinfall victory. So, congrats to the NXT women for winning that match. We then go backstage with Ava and Matt Cardona, aka former W superstar Zack Ryder, who apparently was backstage. Obviously, he was there to quote unquote apologize for messing up the Josh Briggs versus Miles Bourne match last week, but he wasn't sorry about it. I mean, the way he was saying, I'm sorry for what I did, made you obviously know that he was being sarcastic about it. Then, obviously, Josh Briggs comes in and demands a match against Matt Cardona. Ava decides, okay, we're going to get that match made, and it's going to be official for next week. So Matt Cardona will have his first official WWE match for the first time in at least 5 years. Over 5 years. Can't remember the last time he wrestled for WWE. It was a live event or on Raw or SmackDown. I can't remember. It must have been on Raw because I was watching SmackDown at that time. And I don't remember seeing him ever on SmackDown. So it must have been on Raw. But hey, I'm just glad to see him back. If he eventually comes back full time, good for him. The NXT roster could definitely use him. Because he would be a definite get for the NXT roster. Because WWE decided to release a couple superstars last night, and Wes Lee was one of them. And I'm like, okay, and apparently, and I'm like, oh, okay, because before I went live today, I decided to watch WrestleMania's video that they uploaded, where they featured the good, bad, and downright ugly of Crown Jewel Perth. They apparently, obviously, at the end of the video, they briefly touched on the WWE releases, apparently, that happened last night. Wes Lee was one of them. I was like, wow, Wes Lee was a great talent. Former NXT Tag Team Champion, one of the second longest North American champion. Had the second longest run as North American champion. But, so, I'm like, once Trick Williams and Nova Femi go up to the main roster, and potentially Ricky Saints, who's going to be left to carry the NXT men's roster? You've got and Javon Evans. You've got Jasper Troy, last season 1 winner of LFG. Shiloh Hill's probably going to see him on NXT pretty soon. He won this year, this current season, which just ended. And so I'm like, no, he does not need to leave. Or escape. I'm welcoming him here with open arms. But hey, I appreciate him being here. And I appreciate the 6 people that decided to leave a like. I appreciate that. And hey, let's move on. So hey, I appreciate. So yeah, we got the next match was Ethan Page versus Mustafa Ali for the North American Championship. This match was at least 2 years in the making because it was because 2 years ago around this time, Mustafa Ali was scheduled, had earned himself a shot at the North American Championship at NXT No Mercy, and it was going to be against the current champion at that time, Dominic Mysterio. But the day of the match, for whatever reason, on the day of the pay-per-view, WWE decided, oh, we're just going to release you, and we're not going to give you that North American title shot. We're not giving you that North American title shot because you don't earn it, because we don't want, for whatever reason, they decided, you know what, we're just going to get rid of you. Get rid of you. Yeah, Mustafa Ali was released 2 years ago around this time, and he never got his North American title shot. Tonight, he got it, and it was a very good match. Went about 14 minutes. Like I said, very good. But Ethan Page was able to retain the title, not even via shenanigans. It was a clean win. So, congratulations, Ethan Page. Who eventually takes the title from him, I don't know, but it should be someone who's young and up and coming who can really benefit from a win like that. But hey, it is what it is. The main event, though, there wasn't much on this show to really talk about. It was just the matches, and that's about it. Maybe one or two backstage segments, but that was it. They focused heavily on wrestling tonight on this show. The main event was, I mean, obviously you can see that because they gave the women's match, elimination match, tag team match, 22 minutes. And the men's Survivor Series elimination tag team match was given 25 minutes. So, in 25 minutes, this was Team NXT of Ricky Saints, Trick Williams, who just happens to be the TNA world champ, but Santino Marella didn't trust him to lead the TNA roster, TNA team. No, I did not. I said Mustafa Ali. Like, how else would you expect me to say it? How else would you expect me or want me to say it? Like, get a life, dude. Man. It's Ricky Saints, Trick Williams, Miles Bourne, and Javon Evans versus Team TNA, which featured Mike Santana, the team captain, Frankie Kazarian, Leon Slater, the X Division champion, and Moose. Now, in a surprise twist, the NXT team did not win this match. In fact, Team TNA won this match. I was somewhat shocked, but I guess they decided to make it an even night. Team TNA won the first match with Matt and Jeff Hardy taking the NXT tag team titles. We got Team NXT winning the next two matches, so it only made sense for TNA to then win the final match just to make it even. Good match, great match, by the way. And congrats to Team TNA on getting a much-deserved win. If I were to rate this show, I would rate it an 8 out of 10 because it was just too good. It was so good. The botches in maybe in some of the matches may have been a little bit, may have dropped it to maybe a 7.5, but that's just being nitpicky at this point. Then we got AEW Dynamite. AEW Dynamite was Title Tuesday. They went head to head with NXT, and obviously they didn't do nearly as good. It was just a good show, but it still was never going to do as good as NXT Invasion. But we did only get like 2 title matches on the show that was titled Title Tuesday. We had a Chris Statlander, Tony Storm promo. Some great stuff. And I can't wait for their match at the next PLE, which I'm guessing is Wrestle Dream. Can't wait for that. That is the one thing we can agree on. NXT, right now, any wrestling show is better than AEW. This was a good show. It was just not as good as, it was just definitely not as good as NXT was. We got, obviously we got, the opening match was Jon Moxley versus Tomohiro Ishii. Like, I've seen this match at least 4 or 5 different times. And every single time it was with a different wrestler. And it's like, okay, we get it. Tomohiro Ishii is probably one of the best no-sell wrestlers in the world. Like, you could hit him with a pile driver and he would still kick out at 1, or would slowly get up and start shaking his arm, his fists like, is that all you got? Is that all you got? Like, dude, we get it. This guy no-sells like crazy. We don't need to see this match ever again. I seriously don't know why they keep bringing in Tomohiro Ishii for any reason, for whatever reason. It's like, go back to Japan, do something over there, and stop stinking up AW Dynamite with your no-selling. Jon Moxley won. Congrats to him. We got a Samoa Joe, Hangman Page promo segment. Samoa Joe and Hangman Page were recently in a tag team, 6-man tag team match on Dynamite. They won the match. Post-match, Hangman Page was handing Joe and Powerhouse Hobbs their trios titles, but Hangman accidentally dropped Samoa Joe's title, which Samoa Joe then proceeded to perceive as a disrespect, and he laid a sucker punch in on Hangman Page, and now they're having a match for the AEW World Title at Wrestle Dream. Should be a great match, but I don't know if they could have produced a better storyline for this other than Samoa Joe felt disrespected after Page dropped a title to the mat. Kind of sounds basic and lazy. But we got Hurt Syndicates versus The Demand, which is apparently Ricochet and Gates of Agony in a street fight. This was as basic as it could be. There were some spots in the match that weren't good. At one point, Ricochet was supposed to go through, I'm guessing supposed to go through a table with, I think it was Shelton Benjamin on it. And the table did not break. It didn't break. A 450, I think it was a 450 splash through a table and it didn't break. Like, what the hell? Are AEW tables indestructible? Sometimes it does look like it because sometimes they don't break when they're supposed to. And it definitely looked like it was supposed to break at that point in the match. But the Hurt Syndicate win, and that should be it for this feud. I'm hoping it's the end of this feud because I don't think I ever want to see these two teams in a match ever again. At least for the time being. Oh, it would. Oh, it would. We also got Kyle Fletcher versus Kyle O'Reilly. This was billed as Kyle versus Kyle Part 2 because apparently they had another match on Collision, which was, I'm guessing, wasn't viewed by very many people because not many people watch Collision anymore. I mean, not since a certain best in the world, decided to get himself fired and then move back over to WWE. Which is where he's been now for the last almost 2 years. We got this was for the internet. This was for the TNT Championship. This match was really good. And Kyle Fletcher was able to win the match. Congrats to him. We also got Jurassic Express in a tag team match. This is Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, and Luchasaurus. Although I don't think Jack Perry is going to revert back to Jungle Boy Jack Perry. I think he's just going to continue to being the Jack Perry that he was before he's been ever since he turned heel. But I don't know what this version of Jack Perry is going to be. But after they won their match, it was a bit of a squash match. Post match, the Young Bucks decided to come out and just get some much needed, I guess, payback on Jack Perry. We also got Mercedes Moné defending her TBS championship in an open challenge. She decided that since she was going to be wrestling in Daly's place for the very first time, she wanted to face she wanted to face anybody that was from Florida. This was led to a wide range of names being thrown out there, like Dakota Kai, Britt Baker, because apparently she has a dentist office in Florida, to also none other than Izzy Moreno, who many people might not know who that is, but she is the Bayley superfan who would always show up at NXT shows in Full Sail University. And also she was the little girl whose bow got snatched by Sasha Banks during their, I guess, I can't remember which match it was, the Iron Woman match or the match at Brooklyn. But yeah, she was the Bayley superfan that you always saw in the crowd in the front row at Full Sail University. She's now a wrestler and she lives in Florida, so people were like, and I would have done that. I would have done her because it would have been such a moment. It would have been a moment 10 years in the making, basically. But they decided to go with Lacey Lane, who was also known as Caden Carter, formerly known as Caden Carter in WWE. Her and Katana Chance were a tag team for one of the only legit tag teams in WWE before they got released. So this was a good match. Looks like Lacey Lane is in AEW. So don't know how she's gonna fare in AEW, but I wish her the best. We got Brodito versus Konosuke Takeshita versus Kazuchika Okada. This was a double eliminator, double Jeopardy match where two separate titles would be on the line if either member of Brodito pinned a member of the Don Callis family, either Konosuke Takeshita or Kazuchika Okada. That person would get a unified title match at some point at Wrestle Dream against Kazuchika Okada. But if Okada and Takeshita won the match, they'd get an AEW World Tag Team title match against Brodito at Wrestle Dream. So the Don Callis family, they won this match, so now they get a match for the AEW Tag Team titles at Wrestle Dream. Don't know if they're gonna win the match, but they could. But I don't know. We also got the main event, Orange Cassidy versus Pac. Pac is now returned after being out for a while, and he looks better than ever. After seeing what he looks like in WWE, what he looked like in WWE, and even what he looked like in AEW before he took this most recent hiatus, I think it was for an injury. He looked, he looked vastly different than he does now. He's put on muscle and he looks like a massive small guy, like the biggest small guy you could ever see, and he looks great. And he won this, and Orange Cassidy was able to win this match. Obviously, the Death Riders weren't happy about that. They came out, started attacking on Orange Cassidy. This then led to Darby Allin coming out to make the save. And at one point, Darby Allin decided to bring out a sort of a volatile weapon of sorts, a Molotov cocktail, and was looking to blow up the joint. Luckily for him, security was right on him. They were like, "No, you are not blowing this place up." But that's how far this feud has gotten to. Darby Allin is willing to do anything and everything he has to do to take everything from Jon Moxley. He will not stop until the Death Riders are done, buried, gone forever. Well, they're not going to be gone forever, okay? They're going to come back. Maybe not as the Death Riders, but they'll be back. It's not like this is a loser leaves AEW match, and the loser has to leave AEW and never return. But hey, AEW Dynamite was an okay show this week, so I'll give it at least a 6 out of 10. Decent, but nothing special. We also got Friday Night SmackDown, which was one of the best Friday Night SmackDowns in a while. Cody Rhodes opened the show with a promo, obviously talking about his match against Seth Rollins. Basic stuff, but I liked it. It was good. It was a very good promo from Cody Rhodes. We got Sami Zayn in another U.S. Open Challenge, U.S. Championship Open Challenge. This match was accepted. This Open Challenge was accepted by none other than Shinsuke Nakamura, and it looks like Shinsuke Nakamura is getting a creative overhaul. WWE recently said that they were going to be doing a creative overhaul of sorts. I'm wondering if this is going to lead to several superstars getting their old theme songs back. For the past 2 years, we've heard Drew McIntyre and Sheamus talk nonstop about how they want their old themes back. And now it looks like WWE might be willing to do that, might just be doing that, because we got Shinsuke Nakamura's original NXT theme that he got when he came up to the main roster. because since then he has had like at least 2, 3, 4 different versions of his theme song. So I already did at the beginning of the show. So you apparently weren't there to watch it, so you're probably going to say, great, I didn't see it, so that's good. You'll probably say, good, I didn't want to see it anyways. But yes, I already reviewed Crown Jewel, and I gave it at least an 8.5 out of 10. Because unlike you, I don't complain 24/7 about everything. But yeah, Shinsuke Nakamura got his old theme back, his original theme back, and this was by far the best Shinsuke Nakamura match I've seen in a long time. And so he won the match via DQ because the MFTs decided to attack Solo Sikoa and the MFTs. They decided to make their return to television wearing white makeup on their faces. It's like, okay, they look scary, but is that going to really make anybody care any more about them than they already did or didn't? Who knows? We got Jacob Fatu. We got Cody Rhodes backstage. Jacob Fatu told Cody Rhodes he wants a match for the Undisputed Championship for the WWE Championship eventually. This then led to Drew McIntyre coming out of nowhere and hitting a Claymore on Jacob Fatu. Great! Oh, I don't think Solo Sikoa is going to be the one to take the title from Sammy. I don't think so. I think I know exactly who's going to be the one to take the title off Sami Zayn, and I think I know who the person is who needs it more than anybody else. But I'm not going to say anything. We got Stephanie Vaquer and Tiffany Stratton versus Julia and Kiana James in a tag team match. Lasted about 9 minutes. Pretty decent stuff here. And the baby faces win the match. Stephanie and Tiffany win the match. Congratulations to them. We then get Drew McIntyre backstage with Nick Aldis. He's not exactly happy with what happened just earlier with Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu. He announced that Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu will happen next week on Friday Night SmackDown, one-on-one. And Jacob Fatu then shows up out of nowhere and starts attacking Drew McIntyre, and they obviously get separated. And that's how that ends. We got the Wyatt Six. We got Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss backstage with Zarya and Soruka. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair were impressed with their tag team match last week, with the match that Zarya had last week, and they decided to give Zarya a shot at the tag team titles next week. For the tag team titles, not sure when that match will be, whether it will be next week or whenever, but hey, we got an actual legit team that's actually a very good team going after the tag team titles. Should be a good match. We also got the Wyatt Six versus the Street Profits for the tag team titles. Lasted about 8 minutes. Nothing special here, but the Wyatt Six win. Post-match, though, the MFTs, they decided to make their presence felt again by confronting the Street Profits. It's been rumored for a while now. From what I remember, it's been rumored for a while that the MFTs were going to battle with the Wyatt Six over potentially for the tag team. Now it's obviously going to be for the tag team titles. And I'm like, okay, I like this. And just like the Final Testament, I don't think you're going to get the MFTs to be scared of the Wyatt Six. I just don't see that happening. But hey, it is what it is. We got a video package for Aleister Black and Damian Priest's feud leading into this last man standing match we get on last night's SmackDown. But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. We got Miz being interviewed backstage about why he turned on Carmelo Hayes. Miz basically said, you know what? I saw the potential in this kid. I saw what he could be. And if only Carmelo Hayes had just listened to me and had done what I had said and had followed my orders and not questioned my leadership, maybe we'd be tag team champions right now. But Carmelo Hayes wanted to steal all the spotlight for himself. Well, Miz, actually, it's the exact opposite. You wanted the spotlight off for yourself, and you decided that if you and Melo were ever going to get a win in a tag team match, it was going to be because of you, and it was going to be because you won the match. So Carmelo Hayes decided, I'm done being the chain wrapped around Miz's leg, and I'm just going to cut loose while I still have my dignity intact. This obviously is going to lead to a feud, so it is what it is. We got the main event, Aleister Black versus Damian Priest, last man standing match. This was Great stuff. Great last man standing match. Lasted about 17 minutes or so. Aww. Be mad, Mox. Be mad. Be very, very, very mad. We got. Now, apparently, we got Zelina Vega, who made an appearance in this match to assist her husband through a fireball in Damian Priest's face. Immediately, I was like, oh shoot! If Zelina Vega hasn't been taking fireball throwing classes from Alexa Bliss, I don't know what she's been doing as of late. Because that very much reminded me of when Alexa Bliss was still with like the Fiend, and she was feuding with Randy Orton, and she threw that fireball in Randy's eye. That's what it reminded me of. But Aleister Black, he then hit Black Mass, gets the win 1, 2, 3, and for the first time since Aleister Black came into WWE, they have now decided to pair him with his actual legit wife, Zelina Vega. This is the first time I think we've seen Zelina and Aleister Black as an on-screen pairing. Should be great. And this show was good. If I were to rate it, I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. The tag team match, women's tag team match, was the only thing that was like meh, but everything else was very good. Now that's it for this live stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I did. I'm gonna be doing a video shortly after this live stream, and it'll be premiering tomorrow on my channel. A TV show review video, my third, if I'm not mistaken. So I can't wait for that. And until next time, until next time, I will see you guys later. Peace. Bye, guys.